Hey gang, I want to do a quick comparison between a Microtech Combat Troodon versus a Microtech Dirac Delta. Now they're both pretty big knives versus, for example, if you compare it to a Ultratech, right? You can see the size difference between them. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that. Okay. Now, I really like OTF knives, out the front knives. And Microtech is my favorite company, even though that I had problems with Microtechs, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? For example, I bought this $750 Halo and I had a problem with it right off the bat. The chastity was damaged after a few times deploying it, and I had to send it to Microtech 4 times before they fixed it. And as you can see, like the logo was still damaged, and it was never fixed because of all the sending it in back and forth. I don't even carry this knife because I don't want it to break. But all my other Microtechs, I do carry them on a regular basis. Okay. Now I want to do a quick comparison for anyone thinking about buying the Microtech Combat Troodon versus the Microtech Dirac Delta. And I like to put this disclaimer out there too, that I bought all these knives with my own money. This is not sponsored by Microtech. This is not sponsored by a knife company. So I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to give it to you without any fluff. Okay. I'm not going to hold anything back. I don't have a horse in the race. Okay. So both of these are very, very amazing knives. This is the Combat. I just received the Combat just a few days ago, and the Delta Direct, I've been carrying it for a whole year, and it's been my favorite knife minus the blade. Okay, I don't like the dagger blades because I carry my knives every day and I like to cut things with it, and a dagger is not really suitable for that. Okay, but besides that, I really like the firing mechanism of the side versus, for example, the Combat is on top. Okay, because when you pull that out of your pocket, your hand is immediately right there. Where, for example, on a Combat Troodon, when you pull it out, then you got to put your hand here, which is one more step in case I'm in an emergency situation. Okay, which will delay deployment. Okay, the other thing that I want to do a comparison about is that the size of the Combat Troodon versus the Dirac Delta, they're pretty much the same size. Okay, like literally, let me push them edge to edge. Okay, maybe just a tad, a hair longer with the Troodon. Okay, now but there is a difference between the blade. On the Combat Troodon, you get a lot of thick blade, but on the Dirac Delta,
Real quick, download my free book, Real Estate Investing for Beginners, the ultimate starter guide at myrealestatedojo.com, where I teach you how to find motivated sellers, buy their homes at a deep discount, and then have the seller become your own private bank. Subject to, get it now. One more thing, if you're looking for private one-on-one help when it comes to real estate investing, then consider joining my academy, where you sit down with me one-on-one. 2, you get monthly coaching. 3, you get access to my best-selling courses. 4, you get access to my video library, and then the list goes on, for just $97 a month. Join me now at MrNoFluff.com. Lastly, the best 6-figure side hustle, bicycle flipping. Want to see how? Here's a behind-the-scene video how I did it. Go to thebestsidehustle.mrnofluff.com. Now let's get back to the content.
the blade's very, very flimsy. You're barely getting any steel, like very, very nothing. Okay. Now, one of the problems that I had with this Dirac Delta is that sometimes when I deploy it doesn't want to go out 100% correctly. Okay, and I'm scared to send it into Microtech because I had bad experiences with their warranty department, so I haven't sent it in. But sometimes that when I'm holding it down, I'm trying to shoot it up, it doesn't deploy quickly, and when I retract it, it doesn't go all the way in. That happens maybe like 20% of the time. Okay, not all the time. So that's one of the problems I had with this, but overall, this has been, the Dirac Delta has been my favorite knives out of all my Microtechs because it's light, it's big enough that it fits in my hand versus, for example, like the Ultratech, which Ultratech is very, very cool too. But I like the distress finish on it because you can use it and carry it, and if it gets banged up, it just looks like part of the design. I do like the epileptic, stone wash finish that they did with it. Very, very cool. But I wish there was a little bit more blade thickness, and I also wish that there was more choices of blades, because not everyone needs a dagger. Okay, now the cool thing with the combat Troodon is whenever you pick it up, you got a real knife here. I mean, there's a lot of weight to it. The steel, you can see how thick it is, so it's a durable knife. You can actually do a lot of stuff with it, where I think that this one is more of a flimsier knife, you know what I mean? Like if you're wearing a suit or something, and this is like you're ready to go to war or something, right? This is like a tank, this is like a Ferrari, I guess, and I'm trying to give you an SUV or something, okay? Try to imagine that, okay? The thickness of them, they're roughly about the same, but when you put it in your hand, because of the way it goes around there, the corners, it feels really, really good. So is the combat Troodon. The Troodon feels really, really good. I see that on the newer versions, because this is a 2021 version, that they're like starting to corner these a little bit better, make them real rounder, and that really feels good in the hand. I really like the combat Troodon. It really feels really, really good in my hand as well. It is a little heavier. This is lighter. This reminds me of, for example, it feels lighter. I haven't put it on the scale. It kind of reminds me of the Ultratech, because it's as big as combat Troodon, but as almost, it feels like lighter, as a little bit heavier than the Ultratech, but a lot lighter, it feels like, than the combat Troodon. But I don't have a scale. I'm just going the way it feels in my hand. Okay, I could be wrong about that, but it feels like the Delta, Dirac Delta, it is a little bit lighter. The firing mechanisms is one of the biggest difference. The weight, it feels like it's another big difference. And one of the other big differences, like the blade type you can get with the combat Troodons. You can get, daggers, you can get Tonto, you can get just a normal, edge. Where on the Dirac Delta, all they're giving you is a dagger. I wish that they give you more choices, okay? But Microtech didn't give you choices, which is kind of weird, because they give you choices in all the other knives, okay? Now, if you want to compare this, for example, to a fixed blade, like here's the Microtech SBD, and you'll realize that this Dirac Delta is as close, if not a little bit bigger, than this fixed blade. I mean, if not, they're pretty much the same. I mean, if I do butt to butt, it is a little bit bigger, but if I don't do butt to butt because of this glass breaker, then they're pretty much the same. But look at the steel difference between, like, how much steel you're getting. So this is like one side of that steel, right? And now if you do the combat Troodon versus this SBD, you can see again, the combat Troodon, it is, a little larger, if not neck to neck, and you kind of get a little bit more steel. You're probably getting like one, maybe and a quarter, or 1.5 of the steel, but you're getting a really good thickness, kind of like the thickness of this. I don't know if you guys can look at it. It's kind of thick. It's not a light knife. Okay, now this is my everyday carry. This is going to be my everyday carry. This is my everyday carry. I do carry these. The only knife I don't carry from Microtech is this the Halo, guys, because like I said, I bought it in 15 days. The chassis started getting damaged. I screwed it in, it was still damaged. I sent it in, they screwed it, and it was still damaged. After a couple of deployment, it would start having a gash in it. I did videos about it. I had to send it in, guys, 4 times. I put that on my kid. Horrible experience going back and forth, considering you just pay $750 for a Microtech. It comes back, the logo's all jacked up. Next time it comes back, they gave me a handle, but the handle color didn't match. One was a little bit darker tan, and it was just like, come on, man, I just paid $750, man, and it hasn't been 15 days, and you're giving me a shitty knife, excuse my language. So I was very, very disappointed, but I was kind of used to that with Microtech, because I bought other Ultratechs and they had the same problems, and I've done videos about them. But I'm still a Microtech fan, because they do make cool knives, and I also like the story of the owner, and it's also the American dream, where you can come work from your home and and grow your business from your garage into big business. So I like the gentleman's story, Morfione's story. I like to support him. I like the cool knives they make, but just no fluff. I'm not trying to disrespect the man or the company. I've had bad knives, and I spent a lot of money with them, and so it's kind of disappointing to get you spend $750 and you get a lemon knife and you have to wait months and 4 times send it in before they even give it back to you. And once they give it back to you, the logo doesn't look right and it looks all scratched up. That doesn't sound fair for the consumer, But on the other side, I understand, they're growing real lot, they're making a lot of money, good for them. And so shit like that happens, okay? But as the buyer, you don't want to spend that kind of money and get something jacked up. Hopefully things are getting a little bit better. I'm not sure. But I just bought this Combat Troodon. I haven't had any problems with it. I bought this Ultratech just recently. I didn't have any problems with that one. I bought this other Ultratech. Haven't had any problems with that one. So the last 4 knives that I bought have been straight. Hopefully they've fixed their quality control, because it makes good buyers buy fake Microtechs, because I had bought so many Microtechs and there were lemons. I ended up buying a couple of clone ones from Vespa, okay, and they were pretty decent actually. And I was like, damn, dude, it cost me like 1/10 of the price of a real deal. But a Vespa may cost you 90% less, and you'll be getting 90% of the quality of a real Microtech. But it's always good to have the real deal, and that's why I buy the real deal. But if it wasn't for Microtech jacking me up, man, I would have never bought a clone. But now that I bought some clones, I realized that some clones are actually not bad for the money. And now if a Microtech comes out and they have a clone version of it, I'll try the clone and see if I like it before I buy the real deal. For example, I bought a Combat Troodon fake one for like $25 or $50 or something from DHgate, and I carried it for a couple of months, and I said, hey, you know what, I'll take your real one, and I like it, so I ended up buying the real one. So versus just paying like $525 for a real one and then realizing, oh shit, I don't like this one, it's too heavy. But overall, I've been happy with the Dirac Delta. They do have a Dirac that's a lot smaller, and I've been happy with the Combat Troodon. I like the murder out look, but I wish I could have found the serration version blade, and I could have found the OG green handle blade. But that's the thing with Microtechs. They don't make a lot of them, so you got to get it when the getting is good. If you have any questions or comments about anything Microtech, leave it below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Always remember, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and twice as beautiful as you ever imagined. Romy.